Hi there, my name is Daryl. I am a tutor here on Cambly. So today we're going to learn other words to use instead of said. Let's go. So first, let's start by asking why should we learn these other alternatives to said? Firstly, said is used too much by non-native speakers. And because of that, it can make the way you speak very repetitive. So, by having other words to use instead of said, it starts to make your expression much larger. It makes the way you speak much more interesting. Said doesn't really convey and give a lot of emotional information. So there are other words that can give more emotional information. They can tell if someone was happy, if someone was angry, if someone was scared, if someone had no emotion. Lastly, because people tend to use said too often, they will also write said too often. And this can especially hurt them when they are doing English proficiency tests, like the IELTS or the TOEFL. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through separate emotional states, and we're going to give a few words that you can use for each of those different emotions. So let's start straight away with happy. So with happy, we're going to look at the words rejoiced, smirked, and giggled. And each one of them is giving us the information that the person you're talking about was happy when they said this. And it can also give extra information about the story. So the first one is rejoiced. Now, to rejoice means someone is very, very happy. So a great example would be, she rejoiced when she got her exam results. Let's talk about her saying something when she rejoiced. She rejoiced, I can't believe I got this result. So instead of saying she said, I can't believe I got these results, we say she rejoiced, I can't believe I got these results. Then let's look at another word, smirked. Now smirk is kind of a smile. And it means that something funny is happening. Maybe you're having fun. Let's give an example. He smirked, well, that outfit doesn't look quite right. In other words, he thinks that the outfit maybe looks strange or silly, and he's laughing about it. Maybe they're having fun in that situation. Either way, he is having fun talking about this outfit. He smirked, he laughed, he smiled about it. And then let's look at our final word for being happy, giggled. Now, giggle is a little laugh. So when we giggle, I'm going to try and do it, it's like a little laugh that you have as you say something. So you could say, that's a giggle. And you can see straight away that there's happiness, there's fun involved in that. So we could say, she giggled, would you go on a date with me? So maybe she's a bit nervous, she's laughing, she's asking the guy out on a date, and all of that is given with the information from the word giggle. Okay, so for anger, we're going to look at the words screamed, bellowed, and yelled. And each one has a slightly different meaning. Let's look at scream first, because most non-natives are familiar with the word scream. And it means that you are speaking loudly, and it conveys this feeling that there's a lot of emotion. So we could say, she screamed, how could you damage my car? So she's very angry about her car being broken, being damaged, and she's screaming. So we can see it's very different from saying the word said. If we told this story by saying, she said, how could you damage my car? It doesn't give the same emotion. Then we have the word bellowed. Now bellowed, I like the word bellow. I think it's got a fun sound. But bellow is when someone talks in a very loud, commanding way. And if we're using it for anger, it means that they are talking down to you, they are above you, and they are telling you what you should do. So a boss might bellow. The boss, we could use the example, the boss bellowed, get this done today. He's talking in a very loud, very commanding way to his employees. Get this done. So that is to bellow. And then we have yell. Now I use yell because often there's a confusion. Yell and scream, people think they're the same thing. Yell can often be used when there's no emotion involved. It's just like speaking loudly. I could say, I yelled, is dinner ready? It doesn't mean that I'm angry. When I yell and I'm using it to convey anger, it's different. It's not anger in terms of something passionate that has happened. Yell in terms of anger is again similar to bellow in that I am talking about something that has happened. I've got a lot of emotion. I want to tell you what to do. You've done something wrong, but there's no immediate passion. I yelled at my son, why did you do so badly in the test? So I'm not angry in a passionate way about the car that got broken, and I'm not angry in the bellow way to my employee, but I'm yelling. My voice is loud, and I'm speaking in a very big way so that my son understands what he did was wrong. Let's go on to the final emotion we're going to do today, which is fear. And we have a lot of words that can show that someone is scared when they say something. We're going to look at the words trembled, stammered, and begged. Trembled. Now, tremble is actually a movement. So this movement that my hand is making is a tremble. So when someone's very scared, we often think that they're like trembling because their body is shaking in some way. So we could say, let's go back to the example of my son. Maybe I could say my son trembled. I just didn't know what was going to be in the exam. So by using the word trembled, we can see that my son is scared. My son is worried about what's going to happen now. He's very, very upset and scared about this. And there's a lot of fear and he's shaking. Then let's look at another word that has the emotion of fear. Stammered. Now, stammered is when you can't get the words out. So you're trying to say something, but it doesn't come out right. So as an example of stammering, I'm going to try and stammer now. That is stammering. So again, let's use the example of my son in the test that was done badly in. So maybe now he's trying to explain what happened and he stammers. So I could say, my son stammered, I wasn't sure. And then we can have begged. Now, begged is when you're asking for something. So as a verb, we could say, I begged him to give it to me. But we can also use it when someone is asking us for something and there's a lot of fear that they have. So again, let's use my example with my son, and let's say at the end of the conversation about the exam, my son begged, let me try again. We can see from all of them that we've done, from the happiness, from the fear, and from the anger, that those words, they give a lot more information than just using said. We could have used said for all of those things, but it won't give the same emotional context. So, thank you for joining us here today on our Cambly lesson. And remember, you guys that are uncertain what Cambly is, it's a great platform where you can get one-on-one lessons with tutors just like me. You can learn on your phone, you can learn on your computer, you can learn in anything that you want, any subject, whether it's grammar, whether it's learning for English proficiency tests, whether it's just working on your conversation. Anything you need, you can find on Cambly. And if you want to learn with me more, there should be a link in the description below. And until we see you in another lesson, bye for now.